I got into punk the way everybody else got into punk. We hated all the like crappy bands that the FM radio stations were playing, just the worst music in the world. Journey, Foreigner, The Who. The Who went from being like a cool, vital band to this terrible, boring, like let's just put out a record and make money kind of band. Punk bands really just brought it back to that energy and the excitement of writing cool songs and getting people excited, getting them to go crazy. I think it started with the Dolls. You know, it wasn't really about them being able to play technically so much as it was just like a crazy, wild, good time, a lot of energy. And I think a lot of the early bands were then doing a riff on the Dolls and ended up having nowhere to play, and they would play at, you know, CBGB's. Our first gig here in the city was at CB's. We did 3 audition shows. We never got billing. We brought all our fans and we never got paid. And so I told Hilly to go fuck himself. I still hate him. My band, the Misfits, we didn't really make it out of CB's. We made it out of Max's, Kansas City. Max's, which was a lot like CB's, in the beginning had tables right up to the stage. And I think the Misfit shows were some of the first shows where the people who weren't having that and just destroyed the tables, ended up being a big pile in the middle of the floor and going crazy. I think it was people trying to be original and express themselves. One of my favorite bands growing up was the Velvet Underground, and I remember that people kept coming back to those early records. I always wanted to have stuff that lasted and wasn't just here for a year or two. I wanted to write stuff that people would be coming back to 20, 30 years later. When we're doing the legacy shows, it's nice when, you know, people are singing and you don't even have to sing really if you want. You just put the mic out there singing every word. It was nice.
Since you mentioned the Velvet Underground, did you ever meet Lou Reed?
I met him a long time ago. Yeah, when, you know, pre-Misfits actually, just hanging out in New York at after hours. I mean, I didn't really know him that well. I've only was at a club once or twice, you know, where he was at and at the same table hanging out. So I'm sure if somebody walked up to Lou Reed and said, "Oh, you know Glenn Danzig?" He'd be like, "No, I don't know," you know.
Recently, you just posted this photo of you in the skull makeup, and you said that you haven't done that since '79 or '80.
Yeah, it was the idea for this covers record. The makeup came later. I had titled it Skeletons before, kind of like Skeletons in Your Closet or old songs, pulling them out. So I just did it. I got out the acrylic paint and started doing my thing. And
what do you remember of the first time you decided to do that?
I think it was the Halloween show, '79. We had just moved from playing at Haraz to headlining at the Irving Plaza, so it was a big deal. I can't remember if it was that show or the next year at the Irving Plaza Halloween show that we hung dead animal heads and limbs and carcasses all over the place. It smelled like a slaughterhouse. It looked like a slaughterhouse.
What do you have planned for this tour coming up?
Going out, make people go crazy, play some of the cover songs and some of the old songs they want to hear, maybe play a couple new tracks for them, and that's really what I want to do. If I can make people forget whatever they're dealing with for, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours every night, it's nice.